Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we are talking about the best Indi Gems we could find at Pax Unplugged.
The hidden gems that are so difficult to find, but right there in front of your face the entire time.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Quackalope from the very beginning has been a heartthrob for these small indie first-time publishers, these little games that do something unique or cool in the space, because the reality is Kingdom Death Monster is and was that, Gloomhaven is and was that, Awaken Realms was a company that just started launching cool things. That's what our industry's all about. And we not only want the credit of showing you some of the coolest stuff we've been able to discover, we also want to help these publishers exist. Because if they're doing good things, whether it's printing and publishing their own game and building their own company, or working with publishers that are our friends that end up picking up and reiterating on, or hiring them to continue designing, we want unapologetically to create the best board games possible for our industry and our community.
Absolutely.
And so we want to show you the stuff that's under the radar.
That's right.
A little hidden. A little secret showcase, if you will. The stuff that even if you went to PAX Unplugged, there's a strong chance.
Yeah, you probably didn't see at least 2 or 3 of these games because they were in the unpublished room.
Yeah.
And you had to go downstairs to be able to find that.
And if you did walk the hall, you didn't stop and play them all.
Yeah.
So I hired West to help run and direct kind of the operations side of the business. Like, you're doing a ton of stuff to help us get organized and structured. But part of the first conversations we had was my struggle with trying to showcase indie projects. Because it's very hard for a single content creator trying to chase the cult of the new to be able to go play through 20 games where 10 of them are okay and 5 of them are pretty good, and then 5 of them are mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And you just spent the entire weekend hunting for those.
I did.
You spent 2 days playing through dozens of games. To find the 10 we're bringing to the audience here.
These were my absolute favorites. They were the ones that I felt were doing something really unique, and that I didn't feel were getting enough light on their games. Now, that's not to say there aren't other games that were there that were amazing, and there definitely were, but these were the games that I felt like were going under the radar. They weren't getting all the attention that they deserved, and they were doing something just special and needed to be seen by the rest of the world.
So we'll have links down below where you can check out and learn more about these. Some of these have been successful on Kickstarter and they're currently arriving. Some of these are still live and ready for you to back. And some of these are coming up moving into next year.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow along. Join whatever community groups they have. And if you're excited about something, lend your voice to it. Because the only way these first-time publishers, these indie projects, these games that are doing something unique and trying to break into our hobby space will succeed is if you, an audience of people, decide that you want to put a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of support and a little bit of noise behind their project.
All right, let's do it.
An Age Contrived is a board game all about human and other civilizations forming into a unified culture, building pantheons across the land with a little bit of help from you, a deity. You see, in this game, you're going to be utilizing resources, slowly building up your transmutation device, and establishing various different buildings across the landscape, each one of these being a magnetic piece that links together and locks as you actually construct it. Wes, you spent like an hour playing this at the convention.
Yes, I spent at least an hour playing this at the convention, and I could have spent at least 2 or 3 more. Now, I will say that this is probably a little bit longer of a game, but I was hooked. I absolutely enjoyed every second of this game. There's so many different activities and things that you can do, from unlocking different types of energy, building these beautiful pieces on the board, putting your influence throughout the zones, walking through and upgrading the different pieces on your transmutation devices, and then upgrading the actual sleeves that slide through the transmutation device.
Yeah, this is like a conveyor
so that you
belt
can have
system.
additional actions.
This is like a conveyor belt system that starts upgrading your hand of cards or hand of tiles, and as you slot things in here, you'll be upgrading the top, you'll be upgrading the bottom, and you'll be manipulating the middle with either your own relics or the various different tiles that you have. And one of the coolest little components
these pieces slide down and shoot them out. Now we've got a little backstop here so it's not going to come flying out, and the game itself comes with one too, but I will tell you, if you let this thing roll, it'll fly all the way off the table. So if you get really mad at the person playing next to you or across the table from you, just shoot a little bit of energy at them. That never hurt anybody, right?
I mean, the production quality is beautiful.
Yeah, all these are beautiful.
Absolutely
boards.
Insane. The artwork looks lovely. I think there's some mechanics here that are actually doing something completely new in the hobby space in terms of their ambition. And you said that this was insanely fun to play with
Insanely
a ton
fun to play.
of options, just a ton of like little bits of manipulation and little areas to mechanically adjust and shift and tactically involve yourself.
It's a love letter Euro for the things like Scythe and Tolkien and and brass. Like, it has all of those different aspects together. It's crunchy. There's a lot of different mechanisms and a lot of point scoring that you can work your way through and upgrade different pieces throughout the motions on the board. This was a lot of fun. I believe it's going on Kickstarter sometime in the spring of 2023.
But a game that's already on Kickstarter, Mycelium was by far the best booth I saw at PAX Unplugged. It was absolutely gorgeous, and yes, I am biased for beautiful birch trees and adorable little forest mushrooms.
That's right.
But that's what this game is all about. It's currently available over on Kickstarter. I personally discovered it here. I'm going to be backing it. But man, this is a card-driven, sort of point racing game.
Yeah,
you're building networks across this forest path.
Yeah, using the Mycelium network to be able to pick up and deliver things along your road. You're looking for where the different nutrients are going to spawn so that you can get your mushrooms in place to be at the right place at the right time to bring them back to your home network.
And you're harboring a whole hand of cards that have a host of different types of mushrooms to use.
Things like building mushrooms, fighting mushrooms, searching mushrooms, all kinds of different things in here. There's even hero mushrooms that you can pick up at the local tavern.
Local mushroom tavern.
It's just beautiful. It's so much fun. And there's a little bit of take that, because we all know take that's the best element, because you can destroy other people's roads. You can get in the way so that you steal those nutrients when they come out. The key is figuring out when they're going to come out and of which pour they're going to come out.
Yeah, the balance of Mycelium comes down to carefully managing your hand of cards, reacting to the various events that happen that are going to be spawning different resources across the board, building your pathway so that you can be there to grab and bring home those resources. The first person to 10 is going to be the winner, no questions asked. It's kind of similar to Root in a way.
Yeah.
And at the same time, just like that other game that I mentioned, you're going to be skirmishing with each other when and if it's necessary, destroying other people's roads, destroying their Mycelium networks, taking out their heroes and leaders, and taking advantage of strategic card play. This is absolutely lovely.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I had a really good time playing this game as well.
Yeah, so we're going to hopefully have additional coverage before the campaign comes to a close.
For sure.
But I'm just warning you, if our timeline's short and we don't have any other additional coverage, this might be your one opportunity to follow the link down below and make sure you have it at least stamped in your mind. Mycelium is worth paying attention to.
Yep.
And so is this next one.
The Great Rat Wars, where giant, insane rats have taken over the city, and we as the humans are trying to defend our home territory. The giant rats are spawning different rats throughout the city using the different networks from the golden trash barrels here. Your job as a human is to search through the garbage and find combustible materials to make bombs to blow up the golden receptacles. Or you can be a macho man and try and take out the giant rat king and queen yourself to score those points. This game was ridiculous. It's a one versus many system. I had so much fun playing. I absolutely loved this game.
Now, just for context, Wes Todd likes games that give you cool powers and abilities combined with the opportunity to destroy other people at the table.
Absolutely.
And so this is a one versus many system that lets you... Which side did you play on?
Oh, unfortunately, I played on the human side, which meant I had 3 characters that I could get killed by. I got a chance to beat up on a whole bunch of rats, but I really, really wanted to be the rats.
Okay, yeah. So just to clarify, this is the type of game that fits your personality.
Oh, 100%.
To a T. What were some of the coolest systems that were in play here?
So it has an interesting movement mechanism where you actually have to use the different cards to be able to move throughout the city. So you could go anywhere on those red pieces as long as you weren't blocked by the city itself. The other interesting thing about it was that you had a total of almost 6 actions per person, because you had these blue tokens to be able to take these simple actions on the right hand side, and then you had special grown-up actions in the middle where you could do these really amazing, cool things, but you only could do those 3 different times during your turn. But then you also went, so you had 3 different humans, and once that human's turn was over, you couldn't use that human again until all the other humans that you were controlling had actually taken their turn, so that way you couldn't just keep using your strongest power over and over and over again.
Now, were you playing a 2-player version of this?
We were playing a 3-player version, so there was one person who was the Rat King, and then there was another person and myself who were playing as the human characters. And it's simultaneous action for the humans, so when I'm taking my turn, the other human at the table is also taking their turn. So the whole play moved really quickly, and it actually has a 5-minute timer to make it even faster of a game.
So why should someone be backing this?
Someone should be backing this if you enjoy the take that element of things, if you enjoy a basic skirmish battle, and something that you can set up different scenarios on the table. This is a hexagonal-based game where the setup is what you want it to be. You can even do things like make it a capture the flag type of situation, but the way they've got it set up here and the way I think it plays the best is the traditional mouse system or rat-based system where you're actually going and trying to blow up all the different cans. This was so much fun.
Cool. So this is coming to Kickstarter soon?
Yeah.
I'm excited to actually sit down and play it, and possibly let you play as the rats. We'll still determine if that's going to be a thing or not.
I can't wait.
All right. Number...
Is it 4?
I think we're going to number 4.
Number 4!
It's not how transitions
I
work.
want it to be, though. 4!
West is not. Fable's End. A game all about entering the land of stories and fighting to burn the pages of your arch rivals. From an Aladdin-style atmosphere all the way to like 20 Leagues Under the Sea or Dracula, if you will. This game has fantastic artwork and some unique twists on the trading card game or the living card game marketplace.
And I'm not a trading card or living card game guy. Like, this is not my jam. But I will tell you that this was the prettiest booth in all of PAX, in my opinion. It had birch trees everywhere. The guy just did an amazing job. It was absolutely beautiful. And on top of that, it had a really interesting mechanic that I thought is doing something very different than the rest of the game. One of the reasons I'm not a big guy in trading card games is because it's all about stalemates. You put your best creature out, I put my best creature out, and then we fight each other and we just stand there and damage hit 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. This game is you've got one shot. You put your guy out front, he does his damage, and then at the end of your turn, or at the beginning of the next turn, it's just wiped across, so there's a whole new front row that comes out.
And the whole objective is slightly different here. Instead of ripping down a tower or like fighting until you've actually depleted your enemy's health, you're burning the pages of their novel, right?
Exactly.
Ripping through, and the game can end before you drive them down to 0. At the
100%.
end of the tale, at the end of the story, whoever has actually caused the most damage or collected the most skulls is going to be the victor.
Yeah, and there's the only story that will be told for the remainder of time.
Now, the sad part is you actually didn't get to play this game.
I didn't. I wanted to play this game so badly, and again, not a trading card guy, but I really wanted to play it. But there was always at least one person standing behind the people who were playing this game the entire convention. And I will tell you, that was one of the few booths that actually had that happen. It was incredibly rare. This game is doing something different and is worth paying attention to.
So if you like card games, if you like beautiful, gorgeous art, if you like lore and fables from both past and new, and you want to support something that we think is doing or taking a unique spin on the lane battling or the card game marketplace,
You've
Fable's
got to
End
check this out.
should be on your radar. Hey, if you are enjoying this video so far and you want to support our ability to continue supporting these indie pubs, I have to let you know 1 or 2 things real quick. This is an advertisement for us, and you can always hit the timestamp to skip it, I suppose, but no, don't. Quackalope does not charge brand new first-time publishers.
Not a thing.
We want them to succeed, and we don't think taking money from them makes sense. But the only way we as a company can continue investing in them is if you, the audience, continue investing in us. So hit the subscribe button. Let them know you appreciate this coverage. Leave a comment down below about the other projects we should be featuring.
Absolutely.
And, of course, always keep an eye out for when we actually cover these games. We're going to be bringing way more content here to the channel on most of the titles we're featuring, and over on our secondary channel called Quack & Co. If you're not following along and you want to continue watching us do our best to invest in this hobby and invest in this community, that's the surefire way to do it. And with that, let's get back to the video. A 5-minute little social deduction style game, Inhuman Conditions is going to ask the very important question.
Are you a robot?
Are you a human?
Or
Tell
a robot?
us. Now, are you a human?
I feel like you're a robot.
Are you a human?
Are you violent? What is wrong with you?
If so, we'll have to check.
Ow! Look, I'm a human! Yay! I made it!
So this is such a cool premise to a game, and it's short and accessible with a whole stack of cards and a crazy module that I desperately want to continue playing through.
Yeah, it's really unique and very interesting because you're either going to be a human, a patient robot, or a violent robot. And throughout the questions, the interviewer is going to take these stacks of cards and start asking you basic questions, little things about your morals, about your hopes and dreams. And there are specific ways that you have to answer the questions. If you answer them wrong, there's a penalty. And you have to ask or use these particular penalty cards to say these different things, which will make it more confusing to the interviewer. And maybe a human might end up having to say things that make them look like robots.
Yeah, it's got this weird logic to it where you're trying to trick. If you're violent, you want to break your programming so you can murder the person investigating you.
Absolutely.
If you're a regular robot, you just want to confuse them so you can pass off as a human. And if you happen to be human,
you just want to go home.
You're stuck in a violent cycle of trying to convince someone who's pretty sure you're a robot.
Always a robot.
That you're actually not. And everything you say sounds insanely suspicious.
Very suspicious.
Your card is going to be here. This is going to set up the nature of who you are. Only revealed to you, of course. And based off of this, you're going to be running the different module, which is color-coded. And based off of that, you're going to be trying to answer the questions that they ask. And like Wes said, taking various different types of penalties, having to respond according to the structures of those penalties, like your nerves suddenly bubble up and you just start emphatically apologizing for just not doing a good enough job.
Yeah, basically. This booth was... I wouldn't say it was simple, but there wasn't a whole lot that it needed because it was such a unique and interesting premise and such it spawned so much interest that you walked around and you saw people with these stamps all over their hands because they had gone through this booth multiple times. Yeah. Absolutely incredible, a very unique game, doing something totally outside the box, made by the people who made Secret Hitler.
Oh, very cool. I think this may have a chance to be one of our favorite light games moving into this next season, because it fits our personality
100%
so well.
I can't wait to play this.
We will keep you posted as we start playing it together, but for now, I just want to know. Are you human?
Are you a robot?
Are you
violent? You seem angry.
I'm not, I promise.
The Big Shuffle. Yeah, see? You're a mob boss trying to control the midtown area of old New York City, see? You've got your own agendas as well as a hidden agenda, but everybody can see what you're trying to do. There's other peoples at the table, yeah? They're trying to be big bosses holding midtown. But is that what you want? Nah, that ain't what you're trying to do. You're wanting to make sure that everything happens the way you want it to be, and all of a sudden I'm not in character anymore, but you know what? Who was in character? The people at this booth.
The entire time, and man, did they draw you in, because you'd be walking through and they'd be like, hey, handsome guy sitting there walking across the deck. Yeah. Come over here, let me show you a little story I got going on.
Yeah, you want to understand what's going on in old Midtown? Yeah, well, you know, play a game here, buddy, and then you might be able to find something fun.
Yeah.
This game was awesome. The basic premise is that you're trying to control Midtown. You're moving these cards forward and backwards, trying to get your hidden agendas and your secret agendas to match up in some form.
Yeah, you're going to have a little stack of 3 quests or 3 objectives for each one of these locations on the board. You're going to have one that's public and one that's private. The public one will be known to everyone playing the game. The private one is only known to you. Once you complete 3 out of the 6 potential objectives,
then you technically can win.
And everyone else is going to be working to not only accomplish their own goal, but also
to screw you.
But they could actually put you in an advantageous position because they don't know what you have hidden under your card slot.
Exactly. And one of my favorite mechanics, of course, is Take That, and this game has that ability because when you were saying, yeah, I'm going to move Hitman here up into Uptown instead of having it in Midtown now, and it's going to cost you 5 to do that, well, now everybody around the table gets to put their influence in on it to see if you can make it happen at the end.
It's a simple, accessible game with a great theme, real personality behind the scenes that are working on this, that care about the art and the style and the design and everything just integrating thematically, and it also does exactly what the name of the game says. does. It's called the Big Shuffle for a reason. You're maneuvering, manipulating, and shifting cards in the center here to get everything in position. And position's what matters.
Yeah, previously Pluto, they have done a fantastic job with this game. It's just awesome.
Yeah, but we're not done. Catharsis is maybe going to be a little bit hard for us to talk about because the sheer number, you're blocking so much light, because the sheer number of possible combinations you have in this. I mean, just to go ahead and display and give you a quick understanding of the way that this game is taking heroes, sending them on a journey and trying to defeat large boss monsters. It's a card-based game, but a giant card-based game.
Yep.
Look just very quickly at the number of various combinations they give you, every single one with unique powers and abilities based off of the different types of heroes you're combining.
Yeah, so if you're playing one character, another person's playing another character, there are actual cards that are symbiotic cards for you doing different things together. This game, I sat down at the table and I played a smaller scenario, like a 5 or 6 battle scenario. I have never played a game where you have so many different options and unique character pieces in just one little scenario. I played a bard and my card turned every time that I was able to complete something based on it's the purple guy, yeah. The bard's character, you're singing songs, and as long as you don't finish your song still stays as part of your inventory. But as soon as you finish the song goes away forever. But there are different character things that you're able to do with the songs, doing damage, deflecting damage from the boss that comes at you. You're also able to strengthen other people. But that was just one character.
Yeah.
Every character's completely different. They all have their own options and movements. It's insane.
So the core premise, the theme that we're playing in, is that there is a god that has been locked away by all the other gods. The god of justice has been placed behind iron bars, and it's speculated that he did some terrible things to get there.
Yeah.
But his dreams have been spilling out, and for once in his existence, he's dreaming of peace and beauty and creation. And those dreams, seeping through the cages of his confinement, are creating worlds. And this world, at one point, was a peaceful place, until some explorers found and broke one of the 7 runes that was containing him within the realm of sanity that he existed in, and suddenly twisted visages are coming in, not only awake but tortured, right? And these tortured memories, these tortured dreams, these nightmares are exploring and expanding into this world of peace that he created, and you are the last chance for this existence to remain.
Right.
You're going out on these adventures, these journeys with these giant cards, taking on the role of any number of peaceful creatures or heroes, each one with their own unique asymmetric abilities, the way that they utilize their dice, take advantage of various powers, and start pairing with one another is insanely cool and insanely varied. And you're going out to fight any one of these different narrative bosses. Depending on the length of the game you want, you'll fight various bosses or determine how many of their cards you actually mix in. So not only are the characters you're playing, but also the boss you're fighting insanely different and insanely unique. But you're also going through a little bit of a narrative adventure and a narrative story and a narrative journey as well, because it's not just health, it's not just defeat that you're worried about, it's also your own morale, it's your sanity, it's your desire to continue protecting what is beautiful and what is created. And man, I feel like if you love card games, if you love cool powers and abilities, if you're an RPG fan, if you like big boss battles, and you want something that sets up in like 5 minutes, plays quickly and efficiently based on your time frame, and gives you a new mechanic to explore every time you sit down, this is really cool.
Yeah, this is absolutely
it's really cool. This is an indie publisher who's like pitching above, like he's just like
way above their weight.
One of the reasons why I love indie publishers is because they're willing to say, let's just dream big.
Yeah, there are 12 different characters here, each with like 25 or 30 cards, 10 different boss scenarios that you can fight against, and like they're already doing expansion content.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazingly impressive.
I'm excited to get excited and more knowledgeable about this game just so that I can appreciate the extra stuff they're going to be putting out.
Right.
I could sink really deep into this, and I hope I get the opportunity to do so.
For sure.
Oh, West. Next one?
Next one.
West, you've been excited about this game for a long time.
Okay, to be honest and fair...
This is a new prototype, though.
This is a new prototype. So at Gen Con, I met this guy named John, and he was in the wow, I can't speak today. He was in the Unpub room. In other words, the area where there are prototypes. And
now,
he was playing this game.
For those of you that don't know what the Unpub room is, this is a room full of rough around the edges prototypes.
Yes.
Hand-cut little cards. And I would venture to guess the vast majority of people and content creators don't wander in there.
No, very rarely do people or creators go in there, but honestly, it's one of my favorite places because it's where games are created, it's where they're designed, it's where they're trying to come up with these incredible ideas, and this was one that caught me. This is a cooperative game until it's not. The world has ended, and we are the last survivors. All the groups of humanity have now submitted one person as their representative to be the delegate in the last summit. And you and your fellow delegates are trying to decide what things are going to be the most important in the rules and lives of the people in, I think it's called Arendelle. But the idea is to get everything to the center. If everything's in the center at the end of the game...
Society's peaceful. You have enough food. You have enough prosperity. People aren't scared of the plague. Yep. And the world is healthy.
But if one thing is out of balance, guess what happens? One ruler to rule them all. A dictator shall be reigned.
I mean, the people are terrified of the rat plague, and you invested the most vocal concern for the rat plague, so they're going to elect you chancellor, and suddenly the world is ruled, not in harmony and peace, but once again by a single world dictator.
I have played this game now 5 times, and I played it again, the final prototype version. This is what's going up on Kickstarter, and it is beautiful. There are expansions here that I'm not even going to tell you about because they add so much exciting and effort to the game, and they will be on the Kickstarter, and you're just going to have to see what they do. But I will tell you, this game is worth a look. I have absolutely loved every single moment that I've played it. There's so much intrigue, there's so much betting and side deals that are going on throughout the game. But you could still play together. I've actually played once where we were cooperative. I was not cooperative, but everyone else was cooperative, and therefore we all managed to win the game together. The rest of the time it's about being sneaky and about having opportunities to get voted into office so you can have these extra pieces so you can take extra moves. It's beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful game. It's coming to Kickstarter, I believe, at the end of February. You owe it to yourself to try it. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's one of those games that fits your type and your taste, but fits it insanely right. Yeah. Cool.
Holy cow! You keep making noises. We can't do the cutscene if you keep making noises.
You stole this game from the Unpub room.
I did.
For the record, West walked in, played twice, surprised them because of that, and then said, hey, you don't know who I am, you don't know what I do, but I'm taking one of the only 2 copies of your game you have.
I did.
And you will let me.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love this game. This is called Robots versus Dinosaurs. So imagine, if you will, there's an asteroid coming to the Earth trying to destroy all the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs have found this beautiful
this
cave.
Is prototype tech version
0.3. That's right. Asteroid coming down to kill the world. It's a prototype. It doesn't have to stand. It's fine. Anyway, asteroids coming down to destroy the world, and the dinosaurs have found a cave that they are going to survive in. All they've got to do is get inside. The unfortunate thing is, a group of alien robots have crash-landed on the Earth at the same time. They realize the asteroid is coming, so they've created a shield generator around the cave to keep the dinosaurs out. So the goal is, as a dinosaur, destroy the robots, destroy the shield generator, and get inside before the asteroid kills everything. If you're a robot, you're trying to keep the shield generator alive so that you can survive this asteroid blast.
And if you're a dinosaur, like you said, you're trying to destroy the robots' only hope for survival.
It's a meat stick.
You played this
Yes.
as the dinosaurs first.
I did play it as the dinosaurs first. I won. It was great. I had a great time. And I said, you know what? I want to try this again, but I want to try it as the robots. So we flipped, and they were actually surprised I wanted to play it again. But there we go. I played as the robots. I lost.
what was so fun about this?
It was
because you said it was just ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
There's a lot of back and forth.
There's a lot of back and forth. This actually has some unique mechanics where you bring people in. They're not tapped necessarily, but they're flipped upside down. So if the first player is coming in, they flip their piece over, but your quote-unquote rested character, or one that's not technically in the battle yet, is still there, but they'll end up using both of their abilities, and then you have an opportunity to sneak past them. So there's a lot of game mechanics and theory that has to go on in your head. Do you use that attack that's available or not? And again, I'm not a lane battling guy, but this was really cool. These cards are fun. There's actual mechanics on the cards themselves, like when you flip it over, unique things happens, or when these things are at rest. But the thing that really drove the story and the narrative for me are these day cards. So as the things are happening, you're going to flip day cards over and it'll tell you what's going on in that day. It might be arid so that all of the plant eating herbivores have to rest for that day. There could be a situation where it's too cold outside, so some of the other the meat-eating dinosaurs may end up having to take a day off. There's also a staring contest that could happen, so no battling happens that particular day. And if these things come out at the wrong time, your plan is kaputski.
I think Wes might be a card game person. We'll have to find out later. What in the world have you put on the table in front of me? Wes, are you sure this isn't a game from your childhood?
You know, I'm sure there's a bit of nostalgia in here because it does look like something that
totally
may have
looks
come
like
from
a
the olden days.
1960s or 70s, I suppose.
Yeah, and I am that old, but still. This game, it's kind of that family size style game. It's easy for everyone to play, it's easy for everyone to understand, but there's a lot of fun, exciting mechanisms to it, kind of like Sorry.
It's an abstract puzzle game where you're trying to get all of your colored pieces into these center star regions. And the way that you're doing that is you're going to be rolling a set of dice and then following the orders of those dice to maneuver your way down these different spiraling pathways. For instance, if I rolled purple and red like I just did, I would be able to spawn in between the purple and the red location. If I'd rolled only red, I could have spawned on red. From that point, I start rolling dice, and here's a red and orange combination, which means I can move over into a space adjacent to those matching colors. And so you just have this kaleidoscope of conflicting colors clenching in and trying to funnel. And as this starts filling up, you suddenly have a lot more value on maneuvering across the board in a very specific way.
Because once someone's locked into these positions, they can't be unlocked. However, when you're moving throughout the board, if you land on the same space as another player, you're going back to the base.
So you actually have to avoid running into each other.
Or you're not avoiding it. You're making it happen on purpose because that's the way you enjoy playing games.
Yeah, it really is, as the theme kind of displays, a spectrum of light, and these lights are all kind of spiraling in. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to make it so that your color of light is the thing that continues to shine forth by being the most prominent reflected or refracted rays that are getting into whatever it is you're looking at.
Yeah, and this one's still in prototype stage. There's a few things that are going to change because there are people who are colorblind, and obviously this being a color game creates a unique scenario where there will be some different designs on the board to help you understand what colors are what. But I just really thought this was doing something different, and I hadn't seen a game designed in this way with dice and moving throughout the color spectrum. I just thought it was really cool, and I walked by it multiple times, and I kept seeing it and going, you know what? I gotta try this one out.
I think it has unique mechanics.
Yeah.
I would like to put in a little pitch here.
Yeah.
A little pitch.
You can pitch. Go ahead.
I think I don't like the design of it. I don't like the colors. I could totally see this, though, as a game that's working as let's put a picnic table in the center and have different types of insects working their way towards the center to grab some grub.
Yeah.
Or what was the concept you had?
Oh, I had it as a stained glass window, and you're creating it as you're moving forward and being able to unlock different things throughout there. I think that would still maintain the color spectrum concept, but maybe a little bit more visually appealing to everyone, not just me.
Yeah, maybe some people would be sold on this. For me, I just don't love the color palette.
That's okay.
I think the mechanics seem really interesting, and if you're interested in a little abstract puzzle game like this, and you think this looks really cool, we wanted to go ahead and set it in front of you, because honestly, the more eyes we have on this, the more chance we have to continue getting it out there into the world and to make something really unique and really special. So, that's a list.
That's our list.
Pubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our list. It was a lot of fun. I had so much fun. There were still quite a few others that I thought were really interesting, but they didn't quite make the cut, or they weren't quite ready for the world yet. I will tell you there's one on the way about Mardi Gras floats and stealing rum out of the Mardi Gras floats. That one's going to be amazing.
Hey, if you're enjoying this series and you're here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can continue justifying sending West out to find all the cool, unique little indie projects.
Yeah.
We're planning on bringing a lot more coverage of all of these games back to the channel slowly over the course of the next few months, especially as they come out and hit Kickstarter and stuff like that.
For sure.
So we're doing our best to invest in this community, in the cool little indie creators that exist out there in the world. And if you enjoy that and you want to support that, hang out, quack with us, and let them know when you show up from this video. All right? I think that's the show.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.